Hello everyone, welcome to Conversations from Transport, Logistics and Air Cargo Europe 2025 in Munich. I'm Rajarshi Chatterjee from Stratted Times, and right now with me I have James Goldie, Head of Cargo and Airline Partnerships at Heathrow Airport. Welcome, James.
Thanks very much.
So, what's the most exciting thing happening at Heathrow?
Well, we're delighted to have announced here at Air Cargo Europe our plans to integrate our cargo community. Over the past few months, we've been working really hard with all members of the cargo community to set up our Cargo Community Steering Committee. And yesterday, we were delighted to announce the fact that we had done so, and also that community have taken their very first decision. So that first decision is to bring together a group of experts involved in solving our landside challenges. You'll be very aware that Heathrow is the largest port by value in the UK, and as such, we're very, very busy. We know we need to improve the efficiency of our landside operations, and we're delighted to have announced that we are implementing BT's CCS-UK system to introduce slot booking across Heathrow.
Amazing. So, how do you see this rollout of AIS transforming your landslide traffic flows along with day-to-day cargo operations?
Absolutely. So we really listen to our community. Where are the pain points? We know the pain points, particularly within our Shoreham, Sandringham Road cargo estates. That's some of the older terminals that we have from a cargo perspective. We know that the AIS product is really efficient. They understand the stakeholders that we have across the Heathrow cargo community. BT is the government's preferred supplier for cargo community systems in the UK, and as such, they have the relationships necessary to really make a difference and really make an improvement. Of course, we wanted our community to make this decision. This is not a Heathrow decision, it is a community-based decision. The success of such initiatives is only possible if the community believe that they will add value. There is no point in me as an airport standing up and saying, please do this. As an airport, I'm not necessarily the expert in day-to-day operations. And so we listen to our community. The community have told us that BT's product has everything that they need it to have. And so we're delighted to be working with them to roll this out. What that means in practice, if I can just kind of go on and say a little bit more about the practicalities of that system, is that when trucks arrive, they will have pre-booked a slot. They will then obviously be able to be called forward to a door that the handler has allocated to them. And in the case of longer distance trucks, we'll be developing our truck parking facility, which yesterday we were delighted to announce that we are trialling on a 3-month basis to understand the use criteria, understand what KPIs we want to set around the business case for that longer term plan that we have to develop a truck parking facility to make sure that Heathrow remains fit for the future.
So, whenever there's a new initiative, there's always some kind of benchmark set to decide the success rate of that. So, do you have such any early benchmarks in mind?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, about benchmarking, I would say we look across our comparator airports. So we're great friends with many airports around the world, both in mainland Europe and further afield. And if you look at the likes of Brussels, the likes of Frankfurt, Amsterdam, maybe further afield to Singapore, they're all doing fantastic things with their cargo community systems. We've learned a lot by talking to all of those airports, and that's starting to allow us to develop KPIs along with our community. We're not quite there yet on setting those KPIs. That will be something that the community decides. And they will then be using those KPIs to monitor effectiveness of our new slot booking process.
And in the trial phase, are there any feedback from the community?
Yeah, certainly for the truck parking trial, it's very early days, but I think all of our customers are very excited to have the truck parking facility available. Welfare facilities for drivers in the UK are sadly lacking, so we're delighted at Heathrow to be providing that on a trial basis. As we look at the longer term, we really want to start rolling out high quality driver welfare facilities. And that's something that I'm super excited to bring as and when we bring that sort of longer term project forward.
So last year, December, I believe Heathrow was signaling an infrastructure upgrade, which was around the Shoreham Road Horseshoe area and known for congestion. So is this something related to that?
Absolutely. So this is a precursor to those longer term redevelopment plans. We're not quite at the position yet to be able to unveil those to the broader public. We're talking with a lot of customers about what those future plans look like. And as soon as we've got concrete plans, obviously we'll be delighted to share with you some more details on those. What I would say is that those redevelopment plans are absolutely back to back with those announcements that we've made here at Air Cargo Europe in Munich. We know that we need a really clear and solid community focus to enable any form of future redevelopment. So we're delighted to have put the first steps in place that will then hold us in good stead for future redevelopment.
Great. And Now, coming to the last part of this interview, what are the most exciting types of shipments happening from Heathrow?
Absolutely. Well, I love a good stat. So certainly my favourite stat is our one red panda that we flew through Heathrow last year in 2024, and we've got a soft toy version of our red panda on our stand here at Air Cargo Europe. But also, being a little bit more pragmatic and realistic about what flies through Heathrow, that time-sensitive, critical product that needs to get to its destination as quickly and as safely as possible is what I really value. And of course, things like fresh foods, salmon in particular, is our biggest export, and of course, my favourite whiskey as well.
So, talking about the Scotch and whiskey part, obviously we know UK is the biggest exporter of Scottish whiskey. And so, are there any special kind of precautions or any kind of measures that is taken at Heathrow to manage shipment of this kind of goods?
Certainly. So I would say we take the same care with all of our different types of products. Certainly different verticals require different focus areas. So if you take the example of live animals, for example, our 3 live animal border control posts do an excellent job of making sure that we're safely importing animals into the UK. And in the case of perishables or pharmaceuticals, again, our border control posts and our temperature controlled warehouses really are at the cutting edge of making sure that those products get to where they need to be in tip-top condition.
Super. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Rajarshi. Really appreciate your time.